Take one. Wait, can we make a beat?
Hi guys, Pete here. I've gathered all the Fnatic boys here today to do a very special edition of Fnatic Read Mean Comments. We've scoured through Reddit, Twitter, YouTube and Discord to find the meanest, nastiest and saltiest comments about you guys, and we're going to get you to read them out loud. Before we begin though, I'd like to thank AMD for making this video possible. They're helping us open up the conversation about mental health and mental well-being in gaming. At the end of the day, we're all here to fight toxicity in gaming so that Upset can have really chill solo queue games and he doesn't have to flame. So, thank you AMD, and more info in the description below. Who do you think will have the meanest comments?
Probably me.
Probably Hillison, yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, but you've learned how to brush it off.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Yamato might also be in the running, because usually the draft is a hot topic.
El Sigurdo. Why does Upset look so upset all the time?
Classic.
Pretty funny.
Well, I don't, but I didn't pick the clothes I wore for MSI or for clothes because I don't own any. All I own are like Fnatic clothes. So.
Didn't you let you wear Fnatic clothes on the broadcast?
I brought some and they were like, let's wear something fancier.
Oh snap! Fnatic.
This next comment, he didn't even bother to put his name. He just hit his name.
Goes Pete.
What a weakling. Guys, I needed to be honest with me. Who else thinks Yamato's book, the one he uses when drafting, is empty? That's pretty good.
Megalul. Hilly finally has aggressive players he can run it down with. It's nice though. I appreciate it too.
Red Lendari says, Nisqy is so cringe, by the way.
By the way. That's Nisqy's line, by the way. Actually, by the way.
No, I don't say that.
You say by the way and actually after every sentence, by the way.
Oh, and before.
Barrow King. Reckless and Upset legit the same. Condoms for winning. What does this mean?
There are condoms for pregnancy to prevent pregnancy. Condoms for winning to prevent winning.
That's so deep.
That's a banger.
But I don't use condoms. So I wouldn't know. Cut that out actually.
What is this?
Noted.
Andres Felipe Sierra Fernandez says, Nisqy, if you do not improve, go to your house, you are not contributing anything. Okay, yeah.
Go to your house.
Go to your house. Go to your house.
Oh, I go to my house, man. I'll just go to another team, I guess. But okay, sure.
Empire TV. Whippo fits the imposter role so well. I legit see him as a serial killer in some movie. How is that a mean comment?
This was when you were imposter in the VR video.
Yeah, I was just too good at murdering people. I take that as a compliment, thank you, sir.
Fresh Products says, Yamato definitely doesn't have the brains for head coaching.
It's kind of a pun, I guess.
To be fair, he misspelled doesn't. Look how he spelled doesn't. Doesn't.
That random kid says, why Nisqy walk like C3PO? I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Star Wars.
It's who?
Star Wars? The golden guy?
The golden
Robot.
I don't know him. Do I walk like him?
You've never watched Star Wars?
No.
You actually do walk like him.
Good then.
Zeus Lepulver. Whoever thought picking up Upset is a good idea should be benched.
Agreed.
Plantman01. He looks like my dad and I'm 28. It's the hair, IMO. If he got a regular haircut, he'd look his age.
What's a regular?
Bud has sign-ups. He's 37 at the minimum.
Smart in English and dumb as in French. But that's something everyone tells me about it. When I speak English, they're like, okay, like he's smart. And then when I speak French, like, oh, he's so dumb, you know? And I'm like, I'm the same person, you know? So, whatever.
Oi says, Pete should have teach Hilly how to play League instead. It's from the...
Oh, Pete, why don't you read some of your comments?
There's no bad comments about me.
There is actually. There is one.
Is there one there?
There is one.
Okay. Oh, this guy has the same name as me. Petar.
Petar.
Milo Savvegic.
That's definitely the same name.
Pete is the reason Riot made Iron Rank.
Good one, actually.
It's a banger.
Not bad.
I'm actually in gold.
You are?
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Your teachings helped me. Not yours. Not yours.
What? I taught you a lot of stuff.
So
Hope you.
we've had a bit of fun reading some about yourselves, but in general, how does reading this on social media make you guys feel?
Don't care.
Don't care.
Well, if it's an environment like this, it's fun, right? Because we all laugh, but usually it's like not fun to read comments if you feel bad about a game you played. So I don't usually read.
But those ones are actually kind of funny.
You know, like defeats in the LEC, you have a bad game, and do you guys try to stay off social media, or do you read the comments the next day on Reddit, or?
I don't go on social media usually, especially when I lose. At least that's how I do it. Even when usually I just tweet and then that's pretty much it.
Rupa, how about you? Do you read anything? You seem to be a pretty chill guy when it comes to social media.
Yeah, I read it. I don't give a I mean, for me, it's always been the same. Like, I read it, and if it makes any sense, like, maybe he's right, you know. I think it's good to stay level-headed. It's good to keep your feet on earth, you know. There's no point in getting stuck in your own head on what you think about yourself. Fans' opinions can be relevant, and they can be irrelevant, right? It's not about who writes the comment, it's about how true the comment is. And I don't mind reading something, and if I think it's true, then I'll feel bad about it, like I should, right? But, you know, reading comments like, this guy should stop being a professional player because he can't ward the bush, you know, it's like, what is this, you know, like, completely useless. But sometimes there's comments where it's like, alright, it makes sense, you know.
In the coaching role, Yamato, you always get draft gap comments about you should have picked this or that, you should have gone with this comp, you should have picked this for upset. How does reading...
Quote, I don't remember exactly, but I know the soul of it, and it's if words can control you, then anyone on the planet can control you. Drafting is a team process. It's something that everyone's involved in, and if you want to blame me, that means that the players don't get blamed, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't really do it for the glory or fame. For me, it's about creating lasting relationships with these boys, so that's what matters to me.
Doing this exercise, upset, I've seen you mold in solo queue a few times. How do you stay level-headed in solo queue when you have a flamer or a BMer or...
I know.
It doesn't!
Usually I just take a deep breath and I visualize
The FM volt?
like the special table. When I hit it, it gives me like an electroshock that stimulates my brain and makes me feel really good. So usually I just hit my table really hard and I feel better.
I need one of those tables. Hilly, obviously you've had a lot of comments directed at you and your team in the past about your performance.
Read anything that the people say because they don't really say anything useful for the game, so I just removed it and it's quite nice to play actually.
For a more professional perspective on the topic of toxicity in gaming, we're going to talk to Jens, our head of performance at Fnatic, and see what he has to say about the subject. So we've got Jens here on a video call. Jens is our performance director at Fnatic. He's in charge of the well-being of all of our professional players, and I'd like to thank him for coming on and having a chat with us today.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to the questions that you got.
I think Upset, you can go first. You have a question for Jens?
Yeah, sure. So I was wondering, when you play in LEC and you play in Fnatic especially, you're obviously in the public eye a lot when you play the games, and I was wondering what you think is the best way to deal with all the criticism or negative comments you get online when you lose, for example, or when you're having a bad time, and how to deal with it so it doesn't affect you or performance or the team or the mood too much.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, and basically that's something that all of our players have to deal with. So when it comes to this, I basically have 5 things that I work with our players with. And the first thing is self-esteem. When it comes to managing and handling, everything around you and comments in a professional environment, you basically have to have a strong self-esteem. So the stronger that you are in your core, the better you're going to be able to handle negative things that happen around you. The second thing is to really be disciplined in your approach, to focus on the things that you can actually, have an effect on. Things that are inside your mental circle, we call it. Everything around that you really can affect. So negative comments are things that you really don't have control over. They're going to happen no matter what. But what you do have control over is how you react to them, how you prepare to them, and what you do with those comments, right? Another thing is sort of to limit your time on social media. We do understand that it's something that's important for all of our players, but really understanding what the value of it is and what it actually means to you as a professional. Mm-hmm. That's going to be key as well, and understanding that it will be some negative comments there. There will be things that are sort of not always in a positive light. So understanding that and coming to terms with that is going to be really key for our professional players as well, right? And another quick tip on this is to just simply avoid social media after a loss. We've talked about this before, and I've talked about this a lot with our players. Is after a loss, you're vulnerable yourself. It is tough for us to lose. We love winning. We put everything into our work. And after a loss, there are going to come pouring comments and negative comments in there. So just simply avoiding it until you're strong enough to get into it later on is going to be a quick tip on that one. And then last one is, do not use social media to strengthen your self-esteem or to strengthen your self-confidence. Use yourself, your inner work to do that. Use your inner circle of people that you trust to do that. But don't see social media as a tool to strengthen that, that part of yourself. So if you do those things combined and really work on that and, prepare yourself for what's to come, I think you have a good core.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've actually made use of all the things you said in the past, but I will pay more attention to it now that you've repeated it again. I think it was really helpful to hear again, and I'm glad you shared this info with us, and I'm sure it will come in useful for me.
Sounds good.
And I've got a question for you too. So for the rest of us who mainly just play solo queue, we don't play in the LEC, we're not professional players, but we do come up against some negative comments. Mm-hmm. Obviously you do as well in solo queue, right? Or in our private games where we play mostly for enjoyment. How can a person like me and your average gamer out there try to shut out all of the toxicity and negative comments coming towards you in, let's say, a solo queue match or a ranked match?
Yeah, Pete, that's a really good question as well. I mean, even for casual gamers, it is a reality that there are going to be, toxicity and negative comments within their gaming experience. So I think it comes down to actually taking the time to prepare yourself mentally before going into the games and understanding that there might be, and there is quite a high risk that there is going to be toxic behavior while you play. And actually coming to terms of how you're going to deal with that once it comes, so that you're not surprised in the moment and sort of just kind of fall into that and start being toxic yourself. So I think if you take a few minutes to prepare for that, before you stepping into the game, I think that's going to be key for you. Another thing, again, just like our professional players, is to understand, what things can I affect? What things do I have control over? I don't have control over what my, teammates are going to say or do around me, but I do have control over how I can act and how I can react on those things, right? So that's going to be something that you can focus on as well. And for casual gamers, I would say avoid any unnecessary toxic disputes. If it's gone to that point where toxicity has become really, really big and is a part of the game that you're playing currently, try to avoid it. It's not going to lead to anything positive at that point, right? And then another thing is to understand and really focus on what do they want to get out of the gaming session they're doing. I think for a casual gamer, key is to have fun. Key is to, do something that maybe takes their mind off their everyday, you know. And if that's your goal, then you definitely don't want to get into toxic behavior yourself or, you know, engage in toxic behavior. I think also, and this is something that some of our players do when they play solo queue and so on, is, you know, just if it is a reoccurring thing that there is toxicity, you know, turn off the communication, you know, the chat functions and so on. And that's just a simple way of, you know, getting rid of that. So that might be something that you can do as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, usually when one person starts being extremely negative or toxic towards somebody else, like trying to argue with them or discuss what they are saying, is usually not gonna either bring you fun, or even if you're not playing for fun, if you're actually playing to win the game, even if you're casual, it will not lead to
a win.
Yeah, to a win. So no matter what, I think usually muting the people that are being really toxic is the way to go. At least from my experience, that helped me stay focused on the game much more instead of falling into the argument and maybe becoming toxic yourself towards other people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good way of going about it. You know, gaming should be something that's great and fun, and toxicity and involving in that and getting involved in that is never going to help that experience, right?
Yeah.
This is something that we talk about with, you know, professional players is, you know, if you have a purpose and if you have a goal with what you're going to do that day, you know, make that goal something that only evolves around you and something that you can work out no matter what the players around you do. So in that case, you know, if you have those specific goals, you can keep playing and sort of focus on, oh, okay, well, I can still do this, I can still do that, and I can sort of avoid that part of the game and try to really be disciplined around that, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess just try and work on yourself and try and have goals for your...
Yeah, it's the only thing you can do, I think, in solo queue, because the variables are they change too much every game. So if you actually want to improve or get somewhere, I think having a specific goal that you want to work on is invaluable, yeah.
Depend less on others.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you play AD carry.
Yeah, I mean, you can most likely get something out of your individual play no matter what happens around you, if you stay focused and disciplined on that.
Yeah, 98% of cases you can, for sure.
98? Yeah. It's very specific. Have you done the math?
I did the math, yeah.
Where's that 2% where it's going to be...
Sometimes you have to just dodge the champion select, I think, and avoid it.
Okay, Jens, thank you so much. They were really helpful pointers. I'm definitely going to use them next time I'm in a solo queue match, trying to not to get into the toxicity that others may bring to your game. So yeah, thank you so much again, Jens.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you guys are very welcome, and it was really good chatting with you guys.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Likewise. All right, see you later, Jens.
All right,
bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Thank you, Jens, for helping us out there. I'll definitely take those pointers next time I'm in a solo queue game.
And to all of you out there for sending mean comments, you could do better than that, man. Look at us, we're still raw. You didn't flame us at all. We need to get roasted.
Thank you, AMD, for supporting this concept and for standing up to toxicity in online gaming. You'll find links to the description to help you guys out, or any of your friends that might be having trouble with their mental well-being. So check out the links in the description below. And thank you again, AMD.
Also, thanks to all the Fnatic fans that support us and that give us good compliments. And yeah, we're grateful for you guys, and see you next time.